Umar Ahmed IFL TV, MTK Global. I know you did like 3 hours with Coogan yesterday, but there's been some developments. You just told me off camera, Dillian Whyte, WBC, is on the line.
All done, yeah, interim world title, mandatory position. So one more for Dillian, and we get the shot. Obviously, we know the date, which we discussed in May, but this is it. You know, he won't be denied his shot at the world title. He's got to beat Oscar Rivas. And I'll tell you, this is a really, really, really tough fight. Honestly, see this fight as a 50-50 fight. The concerns are people, again, what we're doing is we're talking about the mandatory position. We're talking about Dillian Whyte fighting the winner of Fury against Wilder. We're not talking about Oscar Rivas, a hungry motherfucker that's coming to fight, just like Andy Ruiz was trying to do. And again, you've got to get the head switched on for war on Saturday night, because Rivas, spoke to Yvonne Michelle, you should catch up with him. He says from the first second of the first bell on Dillian Whyte, relentlessly for 12 rounds, his chance to change his life. And any heavyweight with ability, people are overlooking the amateur pedigree of Oscar Rivas as well. Beat Andy Ruiz comfortably in the amateurs, beat Pulev, brilliant amateur, unbeaten as a pro, you know, just knocked out Bryant Jennings. This is a tough, tough fight, and I'll tell you what, the styles are going to gel. It's going to be an absolute war on Saturday night at the O2.
Before Joshua Ruiz, I think it's fair to say people overlooked Ruiz's amateur pedigree, and as you said, Rivas has beaten Ruiz, so that's a big statement.
Look, the amateurs are the amateurs. I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean that's a nice selling point, and obviously we know he's got ability because he beat Ruiz in the amateurs, and what Ruiz only lost 5 fights in the amateurs, something like that. The difference is what it tells you is this kid's been fighting all his life. This kid is an accomplished amateur and accomplished professional. Dillian Whyte, like Anthony Joshua, found boxing late. So they haven't grown up around boxing. They haven't been doing it since they were 10 years old or younger. Rivas, Ruiz, they have. So we know that Dillian isn't a finished article. What we know is he's a tough, tough son of a bitch who can punch very, very hard. He's got a great chin, got great will, and he's improving. But note that word, improving. Right? These guys are seasoned fighters, and Oscar Rivas is a seasoned fighter. He's smaller, but he's relentless. He can punch. He has great work rate. He has a good defence. You know, he's a well-rounded fighter. So I see, just like the Ruiz situation where people saying, oh, you know, Dillian Whyte's going to beat Oscar Rivas. Who's Oscar Rivas? Speak to people in boxing, just like before the Andy Ruiz fight. Everyone knows it's a real live test. And a lot of people believe this is a 50-50 fight. I do believe Dillian win. I do believe he's a slight favourite, but Rivas is going to bring the heat from the first bell on Saturday night.
In your head, obviously, you've got Dillian boxing again December. Was it December or November, you said?
Well, all subject to Saturday night.
I
mean, you know, so he's got to win on Saturday, and if he wins, he will box in November, December, because his next fight will be before the end of May in 2020. So he wouldn't want to wait from July the 20th to end of May. So he's got to just go out. But obviously, once he wins, he's mandatory for the winner of that Wilder Fury fight, so he's not going to fight.
Yeah, what's the opponent going to be?
No, I mean, look, Dillian will never take an easy fight, but you're not going to be fighting, I don't know, Hrgovic or Usyk or these kind of guys, because it's done. It's a done deal. You've got the mandatory position. That's why Saturday now is so important.
Again, in your mind, would you prefer it to be Wilder or Fury fights?
Doesn't matter. He wants that shot at the title. It's
but surely with the whole Fury thing, it's going to add more to it.
I mean, he wants Wilder. He's chased Wilder for so long. That's the fight that Dillian Whyte wants. If it's Fury, great, no problem. Look, Fury called Whyte out. Whyte responded and said, I accept. And then he said, oh no, actually, we're doing something else. So no one really wants to fight Dillian Whyte. We've had to force this mandatory position. It's been frustrating. He should have come earlier. But at least it's come now. But he still has to beat Oscar Rivas on Saturday. It's all irrelevant. You know, we're all sitting here saying, oh great, Dillian Whyte's mandatory. No, he's not. Not till he beats Oscar Rivas. But it just makes Saturday so much more important now that he's just one fight away from finally getting what he deserves.
People might say that there have been fighters who wanted to fight Dillian Whyte. Obviously, you guys with Joshua putting an offer, Pulev. There was talk of Pulev happening in Bulgaria, wasn't there? I'm sure he wanted to fight him,
there was an IBF eliminator where he could have possibly fought Pulev. The split was like 85-15 or something like that. So he had to go to Bulgaria. He didn't want to fight any more final eliminators. At that moment in time, he was WBC #1. We expected to be mandatory. He didn't think that he should have to fight another final eliminator. As it happens, with the resolution, he has to fight one on Saturday night. But at least we have it papered to a point where we know it's solid and we know it's going to happen. So should Dillian Whyte have fought Anthony Joshua? Maybe. I mean, you could watch the Ruiz fight and say, oh, Dillian Whyte should have taken that fight. but he has to do what he thinks is right. He wants to force his way into a mandatory position, and as we know in the rule book, with a WBC Interim world title, the split is unbelievable against a champion. So he's backed himself from day one. Could come unstuck on Saturday. You know, you might be sitting there saying, oh, he should have fought Joshua, or he wins on Saturday night and you say, wow, he's really backed himself, he's in a great position now, he's going to get a shot at WBC world title.
Moving on, I was with Amir Khan yesterday up in Bolton. Now he said to me both parties have signed off for the Pacquiao fight. November 8th in Riyadh. Pacquiao's team come out, boxing team put an article out, Pacquiao haven't signed that contract. What do you think is going on?
I don't know, Amir gets ahead of himself. I would think something like someone from Pacquiao's team has said, if you go out, you can talk on my behalf to try and get all this money from Saudi Arabia, and if you get it, we'd be interested in the fight. Something like that. You know? Because you can't really go to these people just blagging it, going, yeah, I'll do the Khan Pacquiao fight. You have to have something, a letter of intent from them. So has Manny Pacquiao signed for the fight? Well, apparently, according to him, absolutely not in the slightest. But would he go there if there was a load of money? Yeah, possibly. But I actually see Pacquiao beating Furman quite comfortably on Saturday night.
That's what Amir said as well.
Yeah, and then I see Pacquiao fighting the winner of Spence against Porter for 3 belts on the PBC.
Right, okay, so that leaves Amir and Kel free. Now I know we've talked to death about this for so many years. Amir gave the same answer when I asked him about Kel. Yeah, we'll see, I'm still open to it, etc.
Yeah.
But we've heard
I
that a
don't
lot.
think he wants. I mean, you know, there's so many other things that Amir wants before the Kell Brook fight, as in that would take priority over the Kell Brook fight, that it's just, you know, it's frustrating, but it is what it is. He wants to fight Pacquiao, so he'll be putting all his efforts into trying to make that fight. If the Pacquiao fight doesn't happen, will he fight Kell Brook? Maybe. Or will he go back to Saudi for another fight? Will he fight the other opponent that he was supposed to fight, Goyat? I know, but, you know, look, Amir's not driven by legacy anymore, really. He's driven by making money and probably groundbreaking stuff. Like, I think what he done in Saudi, I know the fight was a bit of a joke, but he still went out there, he got the fight done, you know, he boxed in Saudi, and he's a bit of a trailblazer in that respect, but he's not really, you know, for me, what, you know, the money aside, I would like to say to Amir, look, do you not want, you've never really had a huge domestic fight, you know, that goes down in history as a major UK fight. Do it against Kell Brook, you know, let's create an event that people get excited about. It's still a brilliant fight. Let's do something that people remember here, you know. But I don't know. I don't think he's overly motivated for that fight, because there's the risk of losing, and it could stop him doing other stuff that he's trying to look at as well.
Well, I guess when you're picking up $7 million paycheck,
nowhere near that kind of money.
No,
nowhere near that kind of money.
Half?
That's not for me to say, but nowhere near that kind of money.
Okay, fair enough. Just back to Dillian Whyte though, you must be glad this whole franchise thing, that's just off the cards now.
Yeah, we got to continue to look. We have an agreement with the WBC, and we thank them for their patience. You know, the war of words, if you like, which we've tried to keep to a minimum a number of times, is over, and we still have to ensure that what is agreed and what is papered happens, and that's through our persistence, the fans' persistence as well. But for now, we know what is fact, which is the WBC Interim World Title is on the line on Saturday night. The mandatory position is on the line, and May is that date in which the fight has to happen by. So, make Saturday, like I said, even more important.
Just the last one. Have you seen Andy Ruiz's comments today?
No.
Just saying Wilder would fuck Joshua up.
Really? It's all irrelevant.
How do you think he'd get on the ring with Wilder, Ruiz?
I think he'd knock him out. I think Ruiz would knock Wilder out.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think Ruiz has a great chin. I think Wilder doesn't have a chin, and I think Ruiz would let his hands go, and I think he'd knock him out. I think Wilder has the power to end any fight, any time. But I would say Ruiz was the favourite in that fight.
Okay. Eddie, it's actually really nice here. You should come here more. Good place to do a public workout.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
I knew you wanted to hear from me.
Means a lot, yeah.
See you tomorrow. Right. Cheers.